Hello, everyone there out at Local Grit Universe. I am here with Jody Laking from WorkSmart Canada. She is a coach, an entrepreneur, a business advisor, expert, um, anything to do with business. I think, Jody, you know it. I mean, you are very skilled at what you do.
This is my jam. I love entrepreneurship. I'm
I know.
excited that this is my life.
Yeah, no, it is good. And the thing that I love most about when I was looking at your WorkSmart Canada website, and we're in the same networking group, is you focus on very specific industries. One is the trades industry, and you created a program called the Start Smart Trades and Business Blueprint. And it is a step-by-step guide to take someone who is in the trades and working for someone and going to go into a business. So how explain that process and explain how you deliver that to someone who's interested.
Yeah, so I have worked in the startup realm for over 20 years. When I worked for the city of Hamilton, I was predominantly working with businesses who wanted to start a business in the Hamilton or GTHA region. So, startup and launching is one of my main levels of expertise, even though it's not an area that I've really focused in on for the last couple of years. I've worked with a lot of mature businesses. But with our local economy, and our flux in our unemployment rates,
Yeah.
and our instability in our employment, but also people are coming to the realization that they want different lifestyles. They need different management systems. They want to work for different people, or they might have different working hours. I really wanted to start pushing in 2026 that self employment is a viable career option. And one of my missions since the day that I started WorkSmart Canada is to advocate that self employment is that viable option. It should be part of more career planning. It should be part of more career services discussions with high school students and college and university grads and on apprenticeship grads.
Yeah.
And what I'm noticing in the trades right now, so I have two Start Smart programs running that will be launching in January. One is dedicated to the trades, and the trades has a very predominant path. You do your training, you do your apprenticeship, and then you usually go work for somebody like an auto body shop or a dealership or another plumber or electrical company,
Yeah.
etc. But the statistics show that a lot of new grads, once they're done their apprenticeship, they feel confident enough to break out on their own.
Hmm.
Or after maybe a year, maybe 2 years working for another employer, they're like, I can do this on my own. I want to own my own business. I want to do what I'm doing day in and day out. I love it, but I don't want to be working for somebody else anymore.
Yeah.
So the Start Smart program, specifically for the trades business blueprint, I guess, tradespeople, is the most important thing for them to know is that there's nothing self-paced about this program. I want to meet with them. I want them to come into a virtual classroom where we actually learn things.
Yep.
But the other key point is that they go out and actually do it. So there's nothing self-paced about this program. It's intentionally done so people who are serious about starting a business in 2026 actually start a business while they're in program with me. So
Yeah.
for example, 1 week you learn about business structure. So the difference between a sole proprietorship or an incorporation. Your homework, you will actually go out, you do the research to figure out which process or which structure best fits your company. You come back to me and we actually go through the structure process. So within a couple of days or within a week, you are actually already a registered business. The
Great.
next part, you talk about pricing. You figure it out. So it's all hands on, it's all practical. And within a 60 or 90-day period, or by April 1st, you are actually owning and operating and running your own business.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, totally needed. And I totally agree with you. I think there needs to be way more entrepreneurship. Part of the reason why I started
Mhm.
this podcast is because I want people to see what it's like to own a business, and that's great. Now with the trades, there is a lot of competition. Do you find that that's a bit of a hindrance to your graduates from this program because construction is so in demand in Hamilton, or is it so in demand that they are definitely required?
They're so in demand across the board. We have such high unemployment rates in different trades because there hasn't been a push for tradespeople to go through schooling. So we have a lot of people who are retiring or leaving these positions actually early than retirement. So there's a lot of gaps in employment. So there's definitely competition for new graduates or apprentices who are seeking that path. But working for someone else is not always everybody's journey. So it's
Yeah.
about making sure that I'm connecting with all of the trade schools and letting them know that, what they're offering is amazing. And we definitely need to increase our tradespeople and fill those gaps within traditional employment as well, because our tradespeople are needed. But I also want to include that entrepreneurship is a path that they should be educated on and given insight on as a graduate from their programs, that you can do this too. You don't have to go work for somebody right after you've finished your apprenticeship or you've done your training. You actually have the ability to go and start your own business once your licensing and your credentials are complete. So there is
Right.
competition, but it really comes down to whether the person wants to work for somebody or not. And a lot of new generations, they don't. So our
Yeah.
new graduates need to be given that insight of there's more opportunities than just that traditional employment path.
Yeah, and as a business owner how many different hats they wear and things, and those are things that they would get out of the program. It's just like you're not just going to be doing your stuff. You're going to need someone to do the books, answer the phones, make your
That's right.
appointment. All of that is
Ex-
included in those programs.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's
there's two different streams, not just the trades one, but there's also a services one as well. So
yeah,
if you're opening up a service-based business, but the point
yeah,
of the two programs is to literally walk you through and kind of hold your hand through the step-by-step process, because starting a business, becoming an entrepreneur, it's understanding the lifestyle. Becoming self-employed is not like switching 9 to 5 careers or positions. It's a very deep and intimate personal development journey that impacts you, your lifestyle, your being, your family, your financials, your time, and your capacity. So I want to take those people who are interested in actually starting a business properly, walk them through this step by step process. So they ask all their questions, become curious, get the answers they need, become active, strong decision makers, because that's such a crucial skill as an entrepreneur,
yeah.
and allow them to strengthen their ability to lead their business and not just run a business, because they do have to wear all those hats. It's not just about being a worker bee and being an electrician or being a hairstylist and meeting with your clients day in and day out. It's about answering those calls or doing those quotes or doing that accounting and bookkeeping,
Yeah.
walking them through all the behind the scenes steps of that CEO hat, that manager hat as well, so that this stability and the sustainability is more likely for these entrepreneurs, so they don't hit the statistic of potentially closing within 5 years because they didn't do it right. They didn't have all the answers they needed. They kind of went into it naively, when we can give them the opportunity to fulfill the dream of entrepreneurship, do it right, and create this long term plan for just better sustainability for them. And they don't have as much overwhelming chaos that can sometimes come when you start your own business.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's so much chaos, and it's good to have to know what you're getting into ahead of time too. Um, and so, tell me, because like I read, you've got lots of glowing recommendations on your website, but is there one specifically in the trades? Because I find that very interesting. Is there one success story that you have that you remember that will stay with you?
In the trade specifically, I worked with an electrician a couple of years ago, and he is very shy. And he was really worried that his shyness is actually what would stop him from being his own boss and pursuing this idea of opening his own business. So while we were working on his communication skills and his personality training, kind of that leadership role, it was about him understanding how to be himself while bringing the skills he has to this new leadership role.
Yeah,
So as we were going through the process of understanding, because there's different provincial and municipal licensing depending on the trades, there's different insurance that we need to set up, there's different tax brackets depending on different trades, things like that. We were also getting him, or I was also getting him, to go through different leadership exercises, like you have to call and you have to request this, or you have to go over to this desk at City Hall and this is what you're going to ask for. So I would be there as the guidance for him,
yeah,
but he had to take the initiative to have some of these awkward conversations.
yeah,
And as he had more and more conversations, you could just see his ability to accept that this was coming without having to be asked. Okay, Jody, who do I need to talk to next? So,
Nice.
as we were going through the process of starting this business, registering it, insuring it, quoting it properly, doing the research to see what pricing range, if he was going to do emergency hours, how to set boundaries, if he wasn't setting emergency hours, how to manage that with his family, because he had some young children at the time as well, how to work with people who wanted to pay in cash or negotiate lower pricing, because that comes up quite a bit in the trades.
Yeah.
We talked about a lot of those different scenarios. And as we talked through them, he became more and more confident to actually be able to not hesitate, not feel guilty, put boundaries in place, and successfully launch his business. And now he has a team of 10 electrical contractors under him or electricians under him. And next year, he's actually going to be expanding and bringing on more tradespeople because his goal is to become a multi-trade um, company, essentially, for electricians, plumbers, general contractors, et cetera. He wants to become this one-stop shop for the residential and commercial industry. So I'm really excited for him.
That's amazing. And I remember I was talking to our electrician just about going into the trades because, I have a 15-year-old and I think the trades are much better suited for him than
Mhm.
and I think these things would be fantastic to get into high school, like you'd mentioned earlier. Like we
Yes.
need to start learning this stuff more and more. Um, there was a blog post that you did on March 3rd that I was reading, and what caught my eye was your the image that you used, and just why is it so hard for people to support and they don't even have to support their friends financially, but I talked about this yesterday with Eric Wright, and why do you think that is, that there is such difficulty with supporting friends? I just heard a post the other day, someone say the other day, like, they'll they'll like Beyonce's post, who they don't even know, and then they'll just skim past their friends. What's your take on
Well,
that?
yeah. I think in the article I talk about how Kim Kardashian came out with Skims or something like that, and it's all the rage. But your friend down the street who actually opened up her own retail store, you'll still buy them from Kim Kardashian, but you say won't buy them from your friend's store who actually offers that product too. And I think that it's honestly, I think that people still really don't understand what it is to be an entrepreneur and to be self employed. I think
Yeah,
that people who are not an entrepreneur, who aren't self employed, are very disconnected from this world, and how going into our stores or going onto our websites or liking our blogs or sharing them, how these small actions are so significant in helping us continue to be our own boss. And our friends and our family have usually started to they're usually our primary support system. But when we go and venture into self-employment, sometimes they actually are our tertiary or a non-existent support system. And it's really weird. They'll be like, good for you. You did it. You started your own business. I don't know how you did it, but like good for you. But there's still a disconnect because they don't understand it.
yeah,
So they don't understand that you actually now following through with an action and going to like a store to buy pet supplies from me instead of somebody else, or how big, like I have downloadable resources that some are free, some are $25.
yeah,
And how much of an impact that would be for you to simply just download the $25 item, even if you don't necessarily use it, to show that impact.
yeah,
But I think that there's just such that disconnect between people truly understanding how to help somebody who is self-employed. But when you're in it, when we're self-employed, we
yeah.
understand that it's so much more important to buy from Nest on Lock Street versus buying our pet collar off of Amazon,
Right.
or going to like East Hamilton Cheese Company on Ottawa Street and buying our cheese and goodies from there versus going to Sobeys to buy a
Yeah,
cheese platter.
yeah.
So it's just when you're in the network and when you are an entrepreneur, you understand how those small steps have a significant impact. But when you're not in this world, when you're not in this industry, I truly believe there is a very big disconnect. And that's where our family and friends need more education, to be honest with you.
It's true. I mean, I have spoken to people before about that, and one of the things that's on the opposite side is that they're like, "Well, you seem to be doing fine." And I think there's that kind of like, "Well, you're not complaining about anything, so you're
Mhm.
okay." But it's hard. It's like you can't really complain because you don't want to be A, that friend. Like I don't want to be that friend who
Right.
goes and just complains all the
That's true.
time. But B, it's
Yes.
also there is a little bit of a hidden kind of, I don't want to say masochism, but we want to suffer in silence. It's a lonely endeavor being an entrepreneur. And we feel
We
that
all
we have to present this strength and not this weakness of just like everything's falling apart. I don't know. What are your thoughts on?
I would 100% agree with you because I don't have any other entrepreneurs in my family. I'm a very unique person who started a business or got into entrepreneurship all on her own.
Mhm.
So if I were to go to my family or if I were to go to my friends, I know that they would say, "Well, if it's too hard, just why don't you just go back and get a job?"
Right.
They
Right.
can't relate to it.
Yeah.
And that's where it's so important to understand that it's not just you changing jobs, it's a whole lifestyle shift. And unless you're in this lifestyle, people honestly don't understand the freedoms that come with it or the limitations that come with it.
Yeah.
And to your point, you don't want to be the person that's a Debbie Downer when they're like, "Oh, how's business going?" And you're like, "Well, it's a little bit slow right now," because you also don't want to make them feel guilty. So we
Yep.
have these different masks that we
Yes.
wear. But at the end of the day, whether an entrepreneur or a self employed person in your family or friend group is employed or self employed, part of that relationship you're building is to support them because that's the part of the relationship that you're in. So
Yep.
if you have somebody who's self employed in your family or friend group, it doesn't matter how well or not well they're doing, they still appreciate above and beyond Amazon appreciating your purchase. The
Yeah.
fact that you made the effort to go to their website, to go to their store, to do a review about their product or service,
Yeah.
it helps them exponentially because I don't have Amazon or Facebook or a big conglomerate's marketing budget.
Yeah.
My reviews are very important to me, and because I work in such an intimate field, not everybody also feels comfortable leaving a review sometimes.
Mhm.
So the people who do leave reviews, I cherish them. I am
Yes.
absolutely so grateful for somebody who leaves a review because that's where that referral system comes for from me. So even if my friends or family were able to go to my website and download my goal planner or my success planner or anything like that and just be like, "Hey, I just did this. Like, thanks for the resource." Like anything, again, that effort goes a long way from who the people who are supposed to be part of our primary support systems.
Yeah, agreed. And even just a like, share, comment,
That's right.
it means so much. I mean, we have a lot of
Exactly.
friends taking lessons at our music school, and I love it because I love that we have that connection with everything, and it's amazing. Um, but I do notice that a lot of people have it's hard to support your friends with businesses sometimes from their perspective. And it was a real eye opener when we heard that, you're doing fine. What's going on?
Mm.
Because like on the
Yeah.
inside it was like during COVID and things, craziness going on, and
Yeah.
so I'm always curious as to what other entrepreneurs think about that. Just touching on something that you spoke about, though, you have the Growth Collective, which is great because, as I mentioned, being an entrepreneur can be super lonely, and this kind of bridges that hurdle for a lot of businesses. Talk about the program and what it entails because it's interesting.
Yeah. So I had been wanting to do essentially a support group and a support community for a couple of years. It's been on my goal planning list. And this summer, I decided that it was the right time to do it because we are so privileged in Hamilton and the GTHA region to have so many wonderful networking events where
Yeah,
we can meet other business owners, build our referrals, build our community, hopefully build our sales, and it helps us build our business. And that's one type of community that we need. But when we go to those networking events, we sometimes have to put a mask on.
yeah,
We can't be the person who's sitting over in the corner looking disgruntled all by herself, right? That's not the point of those networking groups. They have a value and they have a purpose.
yeah,
But in our area, we don't have a dedicated support community for entrepreneurs of any stage to come to and say, my partner doesn't get it when I say that I'm tired of my client ghosting me. because the feedback they're giving me doesn't come from an entrepreneurial spirit. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm sure it's fine. It'll be okay." But as an entrepreneur, when your client hasn't paid you, that's being like, "Okay, can I pay my bills on time? Can I pay my employees on time? It's
Yeah.
Christmas, it's the holidays. How is this going to impact? Did I do something wrong that they're not paying it? Like,
Yep.
what should I do?" And only other people in, again, this sector, this field, this lifestyle can kind of understand that. So the Growth Collective allows people to come and come as they are. That's one of the most important things.
Mm.
You come in your prom dress or you come in your sweatpants, it really doesn't matter, but you get to come as you are in the being that you are that day. And there is the ability for you to unmask and just share your successes, ask questions, ask for feedback, ask for guidance, ask for referrals. And it's allowing you to sit in this supportive community of people who are like minded, who get it because they're in it. And
Yeah.
you don't have to pretend. You can just say, hey, so for example, our last meeting, there was somebody who came up to me after the meeting was over and said, I just hit my first 10K month and I'm so excited and I wanted to tell you. And I said
Wow.
to her, I'm like, "What?" Yeah, and I said to her, "That's amazing." I said, "That's absolutely phenomenal. You've worked so hard for that, and I'm so excited for you." But I'm like, "Why didn't you share it with the group?" And she's just like, "I kinda didn't want it I didn't want the spotlight on me, or I didn't want people to judge me in case they were making more than me or less than me." And I reminded her, I'm like, "That's what makes this different. That's
Yeah.
what this community is supposed to be different because you're supposed to come in and be whoever you are that day and be like, guys, I am so excited to share with you this. And this is why I'm excited. And we just naturally want to celebrate with you because we know how hard you had to work to a certain degree to get that 10K month.
Yeah.
And we know the additional struggles that you might have had to go through or the sacrifices you made because you might have already shared them beforehand. But
Yeah.
it's again, it's the support system. So I told her, I'm like, you need to go into the Facebook group and you need to share it with everybody. And you need that support of people now cheering you on because we don't celebrate our successes. We're like, yay, we did it. And we've already moved on to our next to do list. But the pain points or the challenges we sit with, we overthink about a lot more, um, but those successes we also need to share because that's part of our motivation that keeps us going. So
Yeah.
this group has been absolutely phenomenal. I love the fact that we have a very consistent group of people coming. So it's a more intimate relationship. You're getting
Yes.
to learn and know, excuse me, know each other on a more intimate level. You can ask more questions. It's quieter. It's not as busy. We sit down, we have a drink, we have a snack, and we literally divulge anything that's kind of on our mind that day. So it's kind of like mini therapy sessions, mini success sessions, but there's no expectation of you.
I-
And
Yeah.
that's what's most important for this
Yeah.
collective for people to come in and participate in.
And it's interesting, like, I mean, even, I mean, we all do the, when we're entrepreneurs together, we all do the kind of knowing nods of the struggles and the wins. And I love that in groups. And it really depends on the group. You're so right there and having the right atmosphere. I'm part of the Hey Tony Insiders group. And one of the tasks was you had to look at your competition and you had to write a better page for it, and one of my competition was Hey Tony. And so I know that Matt has the owner Matt, who I've interviewed, he has a great
Yeah.
sense of humor. And I was like, I'm coming to crush you. And his reply was, crush us. And
Yeah.
it's just like
But
the
yeah,
abundance mindset is just so important. And sorry, go ahead. You were going to say something.
no, it's just that's the other thing about us is everybody is so worried about competition, but when you
Yes,
meet the right group of people, you realize that we're not actually in competition with each other, or we don't see each other as competitors. We see each other as referral systems or network buddies or people who will just get what we're going through. And
exactly. Exactly.
it's so valuable, but I love that exercise.
Yeah, no, it's such a great exercise for sure. Um, Now you had mentioned your WorkSmart planner, success planner before.
Mhm.
Time is such it's always against us as entrepreneurs.
Yes.
How has your daily planner really helped some things with productivity, getting proper tools in place, and what have you?
Yeah, to be honest, capacity. is one of the main reasons behind why our business owners, all humans realistically, are burning out. We are burning out as well at an unprecedented rate right now. And the recovery time for burnout is not just a good night's sleep.
No.
It can take days, it can take weeks, even years, depending on how long you've been ultra stressed or burnt out for. And the damage that it's doing on our mental, our physical, and even our spiritual health it's measurable, but we're not measuring it. We keep Entrepreneurs are like, I have too much to do. I can't deal with this right now. I'll deal with it later. And they just keep procrastinating and putting it off because it
Yeah.
requires effort and intention to put time and capacity on ourselves to improve and manage our own health. But the biggest question that I say to our entrepreneurs when it comes to them struggling with their capacity and their time is if you're not healthy, like if you're not healthy enough or you're not present to run your business, what will actually happen to it?
Yeah.
If you're not taking care of the wizard behind the curtain, who do you expect to be taking care of you, right? So you mentioned before how we wear so many hats and engage with so many distractions in a day that we
Mm.
can't predict. So this planner, this success planner, is one small tool to help you understand your top 3 priorities for that day. It helps you create a mini plan or a mini ritual that would actually help you complete those tasks so you don't feel overwhelmed. You're not stressing about carrying them over or thinking through mentally through your schedule for the week of where you're going to fit them in or if you have to stay up or do whatever. It's just bringing you back to that present moment so you can clearly evaluate your schedule for that day and say, these are my 3 non negotiables. For me to feel like I had a successful, potentially productive day, these are the 3 things that I need, and this is how I need to achieve them. The
Mm.
one pager takes you maybe 10 minutes to complete. You stick it up on your bulletin board or get a piece of painter's tape and tape it on your monitor or on your screen, or you do whatever you want to do. It's also an editable PDF, so that works.
Yeah.
But it gives you the opportunity to actually be present in your day to help you refocus on what needs to actually get done, what's urgent, what's important, and understanding that not everything is urgent and not everything is important. It's
Yeah.
helping teaching our entrepreneurs again the importance of prioritization and planning so we don't get caught up in some of those distractions or those useless tasks that actually don't move the needle, don't move us forward.
Yeah. And it also helps you with, like, because you have a document, you can actually help with past errors. So you can look at
That's right.
what has not worked before or where things got really, really hectic and use the planner to not recreate your past mistakes, which is
Oh,
fantastic.
100%. It also gives you the idea to go with your example. We assume something will take 20 minutes, and then we actually reflect back and it took us 45 minutes.
Right.
So it gives you this better sense of how to manage your time. And it gives you a better when you have an understanding more about how your capacity works, because most people don't understand how their capacity works. It helps you just understand that you don't need to be working for 10 hours a day. This is a consequence or this is a reaction to your planning and your scheduling, but
Yes.
everything can run better if you take the initiative to do it.
Yeah, I'm really actually trying to document how much time each task takes me for this podcast. Um,
Yeah.
in my mind, I'm like, it'll be 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day. And then you realize, oh, wait, no, hang on a second. There's this and this and this and this and this. And it's an eye opener. And so
Yeah.
I've changed how I'm doing this. Even though now it's just a type of hobby, I'm hoping to grow it into something more. And I'm starting to see how you can grow things by looking at the time spent on how many things, even time spent. People don't think about this a lot of the time, and it's something that Rachel and I with the music school have thought of, and that is how much time you spend with a on a client, and not even a good client, a difficult client, and
So
how
true.
is your time worth it? And I
Mhm.
remember when we first opened, I used to write these long emails to people. And one day I was writing this long email to someone and I was like, I actually don't have to explain myself to them. And I can just say, that's our policy. Send.
That's right.
And it's an eye opener when you are able to look at how much time you're going to spend with a client And it's not to say you want to rush people or give negligent service. It's just when somebody's asking for more of your time, document it and put a dollar
Yes.
sign to it and say, "Hey, what's going on here? Who's getting a good deal?"
That's such a perfect example of not only paying attention and managing your time better, but also setting boundaries. I It's one of the biggest things that I help people understand because I also do a smart capacity sync like 4-week series program,
Right.
and it we really dive deep into that capacity management, but I can't emphasize how important it is for setting boundaries as an entrepreneur, not only on yourself to set boundaries. So for you, you're like, I don't have to send this long email. I don't have to send, I don't have to spend 20 minutes writing this, like explaining myself. I've already
Yeah.
done the work doing the policy. If you don't like
Yeah.
it, that's your choice. But we
Exactly.
also have to understand that putting boundaries with other people or setting boundaries with other people is so crucial. And they're not bad. It's not
Yeah.
always about saying no. It's
Yeah.
about
Oh, sure.
managing our existence
Yeah.
so that we can be a business owner, but we can also be a partner and we can be a human and we have hobbies and we can go and do things that we need to do to live our lives. Those boundaries are so crucial in our time and capacity management sequence as well.
Yeah. Boundaries can be kind. They're not
Mhm.
always about no. That's an excellent point.
That's right.
Um, One of the things that I found really interesting, we've talked about this before, is that you have an exit strategy approach to businesses, and you think it's important that all businesses, for any sort of emergency, what have you,
Mhm.
non emergency, should have an exit strategy. I spoke with Jared at who just he opened the art revival store
Mhm.
and his podcast is coming out soon, and he planned his exit from the beginning, which was rare. Not many, myself included, have not planned an exit strategy. What's your philosophy for that? How did you come about to see that as an importance for entrepreneurs?
So I caught a clip of that, and I also want to go to Portugal. So
Yeah.
I think that like when you work, you naturally are like, okay, unless I win the lottery, I'm going to retire at 65. But again, when you enter into the world of entrepreneurship, there are some people who want to retire before that age. They expect to run their own business until 65. Some plan to hopefully, continue it, franchise it, hand it off to their kids, do different things with it for legacy planning. But for our sole proprietors, and for our like solo practitioners who kind of like to keep it a little bit smaller, they don't really think about the future. They really, really struggle with it. And
Yeah.
so when I ask them questions about their succession planning, it's like, how long are you going to work in this company for? A lot of them will say, I don't know,
Yeah.
for as long as it keeps paying me.
Yep.
But you don't have a plan to know that sustainability. You don't have a plan to know the longevity of your business model. So you actually really don't know. And we need to know.
Yeah.
So your question prompts two parts, and it actually involves WorkSmart Canada, my primary business, and also my second business. So when I talk to clients who are thinking about their exit strategy or are going through a process of thinking about closing their business, it's really important to educate them to not just simply walk away. If you legitimately are ready to close your business, walk away, no intention of keeping it alive, there's a process we need to follow so you're not blindsided with the legalities, accounting, and taxes that will still follow you if you don't close your business properly.
Yeah.
It's fine to close that door. It's okay to turn that chapter and close your business, but there's still steps we need to follow to close it properly.
Yeah.
And especially if you're incorporated too. But what I find is a lot of business owners, regardless of structure, have no idea of the value of their business. And a
Mm.
lot of the pieces individually or your business collectively has a value and you can sell it. And if you're interested in selling your business, there's so much demand from people to want to buy an established business because they think it's easier. You already
Yep.
have branding, you already have clientele, pricing in place, and they just take over.
Yep.
But a lot of, especially sole proprietors or the smaller businesses, will be like, what are you talking about? My business doesn't have any value. It's just me.
Yep.
You are absolutely right. You are the main asset of your business, but your client list has value. Your products, your inventory, your services, your brand, all of these have value that
Yes.
other people might see.
Yep.
So, doing a business valuation, understanding the market if somebody would be interested in buying your business. And there's some hesitation. People are like, "Well, it was my business. I don't really want to see somebody else running it." No problem at all. And then there's some people who are like, well, can I sell my business but keep my name? 100% you can.
Yep.
But they don't know that these opportunities exist, right?
Yeah.
So exit planning, know when you don't want to run your business anymore, to your other podcast point, that's really important,
Yeah.
right? But the other part of it is when you do come to the conclusion or you come to start to make the decision that you're done with this business for whatever reason, know that you have options, but know that there's a process for both. And then to speak to the unexpected side,
Yeah.
I actually launched a second business earlier this year. It's called Your Business Executor. And I'll just briefly mention
Mm.
that life is full of unexpected events that we cannot control.
Oh, for sure.
Illness, accidents, all of those things happen. And if you're an entrepreneur, the question is, what if you were just gone one day?
Hmm.
What would happen to your business? What would happen to your business assets? How can your family or executor or next of kin access all that income, those assets that you've accrued through your business? How can we make that process simpler? And I know people don't like talking about not being present with their family or not being around to run their business anymore, but it's a reality of our lives,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
we need to talk about if you're not around and
Yep.
how to do planning to make sure that we reduce the overwhelm, we reduce that chaos too for your family and your next of kin to know what to do with your business if you're not available to help answer questions or you're not around to support them. So
Yeah.
that initiative is more so focusing on that succession planning and more so focusing on the catastrophic event side because those unexpected events happen whether we are ready for them or not.
Yeah. No. Excellent advice for definitely, and myself included. I don't think about these things, and I even know better, and I still don't.
Right?
Right, and that's what makes it. Um, being part of it is that you do have to kind of grow up
They do.
sometimes, and take accountability. Okay, final question. We
Yes.
are at the end of our time, and so you've got so much expertise, so much guidance. What is your one piece of advice that you would give to someone who wants to start a business in 2026?
I love this question. So I was super excited. So I am a huge advocate of entrepreneurship. I started my first business in high school. I have
Oh,
started
nice.
businesses, closed businesses, sold businesses. I know they're hard. I know that it's a different lifestyle. I know that there's good, bad, and ugly with entrepreneurship, but just do it. It's so
Yeah,
worth it. Do
agreed.
it small, do it messy, do it scared. Entrepreneurship is such a wonderful, exciting journey that you will never experience this type of journey in your lifetime unless you become your own boss.
Yep.
So there's a lot of chaos. So also don't assume, don't guess, ask questions, be curious, do the research, make data driven decisions as best as you can.
Yep.
And then finally, find your community, work with experts. You are not meant to do this alone. You are not meant to wear all the hats. Be an expert in your field, in your industry, and let other people like myself or like yourself be experts that support you
Yeah.
because your business needs more than just you to thrive and survive. But
Yeah.
just do it. It's so worth it.
For sure, and get a business coach.
Get a business coach. That's right. I love working with people. I love the creativity entrepreneurs bring to the table. It is not like talking with any other person on this planet.
I know.
There's a part of our brains that is just so inspirational and insightful, and I get so excited working with entrepreneurs and learning about the businesses they want to start or how they want to grow. And I get to be part of this process to show them that this is a real process for you. This is a viable option for you. And you can do this
Yep.
if we follow this, if we create this plan. And this is what you can actually succeed in doing if you want to. So, and only self employment can do that for you.
True. That's awesome. Great place to end. Jody, great chatting with you. I want a part two with all of my guests, so I hope we can do a part two and do this again.
That'd be fantastic.
We'll talk soon.
Thank you so much for having me on today. I appreciate it.
Bye bye.
Bye.
That was great.